How are you, Aries? This is going to be your June 2021 forecast using the tarot deck, using oracle, and using astrological transits. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull some cards now, get them right out for what's been going on in the past. Let me see what's been going on with the sign of Aries coming through on these tarot cards. Then Aries, I'll pull for, get some out for the present, then I'll get some cards out for the future energies. Then I'll show you the spread, I'll turn the camera down and we will look at them all together, pulling more cards to clarify as we go. But for now, let me just get out some cards. Okay, great. So we've got the Nine of Pentacles coming through. All right, so in the past energy, that's a lot of accomplishment. Four of Pentacles. Okay, so Pentacles coming through, that's the material earthly suit, Death card in reverse. Some of you are really holding on to past accomplishments and refusing to let them go. Some of you are holding on to things that no longer serve you. Devil at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we'll go much deeper into these. I just want to get some more cards out for the sign of Aries. Let's see what's coming through for present energies for your sign. And I have one dropped on the ground. I'm going to put it back in, but it's the Page of Pentacles. Let's see if that comes out for us again. Let's see what's coming through presently for Aries before going into these cards and finding out what's up. So this is the themes for the month of June. What can Aries expect? What's coming up around them? We have a lot of astrology to unpack too, so stay tuned, you guys. We're really coming through with the Pentacle suit. Three of Pentacles. So work and your life and what you can do practically seems to be really important for you right now. Six of Wands. This is a new deck I'm using, so I just want to make sure that's the Wand suit. Six of Wands. And the Queen of Wands. This is Aries energy, cardinal fire embodied. That's you. So this is you being very much strong and in your power this month. When I see the Aries energy coming through, I know that you're feeling empowered this month. Okay, so let me see. Empowered in your group projects and empowered in your solo endeavors and your hustle. All right. Coming up in the end, towards the end of June, going into July, what can Aries look out for? What are they going to be preparing for? What's coming up for them? All right, Aries. Coming up for you, we've got the Two of Wands. So a decision has to be made by the end of the month. And now we've got the Nine of Wands. So we're going from our Pentacle suit very, very rapidly and suddenly into our Wand suit. And then we've got the Ten of Cups. Okay. So it's going from practicality and putting in time and work and effort and just doing the jobs and living our life to more aspirational and higher ascension and passion and impulse. So that changes up a couple of gears by the end of the month, by June. Let's get into these cards then, Aries. And what I will do is I will talk you through what's coming up and then we'll go deeper to clarify and I'll show you the spread. But let's take it back. Nine of Pentacles tells me that you've been feeling very accomplished recently. You've really realized that you have whatever it takes to go your own way. You've realized that you can live alone, you can work alone, you can be alone, you can provide for yourself, and you're very, very reliant. Now that's not to say that you don't want somebody else in the picture or people or friends or family or loved ones around, but it's become clear to you that you don't necessarily need that. It's a blessing, but it's not what you need. You've realized that you have what it takes. And I really see this empowerment. However, Four of Pentacles and Death in reverse. Death is all about change and welcoming in a new and killing an old way. But when it reverses, I see a real resistance on your part to change. The major arcana cards, Death. That is the only one I have out so far. The rest are minor arcana. There is 17 major arcanas in the deck and they talk about soul growth lessons, and they are less day to day or month to month. They are a period when our soul is ready to evolve and the lesson of death reversed has to be faced. So this with the Four of Pentacles can be very grounded and stable, but it can be not very flexible. I think you're holding on very tightly to something and you have been, Aries, and you're refusing to let something go. You're refusing to change your way on it or your mindset. For some it's self-perseverance, and the Four of Pentacles tells me that you're trying to protect yourself, your feelings and your vulnerabilities, and that results in a fear of change. Okay, so there is some sort of a hesitancy there in the past. it looks like there has been movement and reconciliation from this, but we will go deeper to find out what that soul lesson is for you at this time, Aries. Some of you are saving money at the moment, and if it's for financial, the pentacles are about our money and our finances too. Tangible things, anything we can hold, they're the earthly element. So Aries, like, you've been saving a lot, you've been budgeting for something, you have enough money now to do something, and you're saying kudos to me, like, I achieved this, I put money together and I accomplished something and my savings paid off, or whatever you had been using your resources for. It's turned out to be really abundant. Look at all this flower energy growing around the pentacles. It's very abundant energy. Okay, but Death card, you're holding on to something and you just won't let it go. Okay, let's look at the present energies coming up. So there is a balance for you. So this is your energy here, Queen of Wands, cardinal fire. That's you, Aries. Cardinal signs are the initiators, the innovators, the pioneers. For me, Aries spirit is the pioneer. It's the leader. And you know, it doesn't always have to follow through, but it always has the energy to start and go from 0 to 100 like that. So you've got a balance to strike this month, Aries. There is a balance between working well as a team, 3 of Pentacles, a network, a group, friendship dynamic, a work team or something like that, and also, but at the same time you have to balance that because 6 of Wands, you have so many of these projects of your own that really you want to get recognized for as an individual. You want to be recognized and seen, and it seems like you're really headed towards a goal of yours. Your hustle is really strong right now, and you seem to be all about your hustle in the month of June. We're going to clear up some more cards and figure out what that's all about, okay? Queen of Wands. Okay, so this is you being very confident, very magnetic, very you. You're feeling like yourself this month, and it's showing, it's paying off, and you're getting some recognition. You are getting recognition, fiery energy, all eyes on you. You know, the fire signs are the impulsive, energetic, warm, fiery people. So, you know, you're getting, all eyes are on you this month, but there is a balance that needs to be struck here between being totally doing everything alone and having these goals of your own, which are great, but there seems to be things you need to do as a community and a network, a group too. That's coming up in the astrology too, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment after we have a look at these cards together. Coming up, 2 of Wands is a decision. You're nearing the end on a cycle with something, Aries. So I've got the 2 of Wands, and you're making a decision on how this is going to go. Should you stick with it? I'm sorry, guys. I'm recording from New York, and the sirens are pretty loud today on my street, but hopefully it's not too distracting. The 2 of Wands, you are making a decision at the moment about how to move things forward, if you're going to stay in a situation or not. I think you are, but you know that you're going to be getting out of that situation soon, or finishing it up or wrapping it up, because I can see the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. We're nearing the end numerically of a cycle in something. We're leading up to it. It's something that we've been tested in, but we know ultimately the reward is going to be so worth it. It's been hard, it's been a challenge. Lord of Strength and Perseverance, the 9 of Wands. Okay, so there has been challenges here, and the challenges seem still to be up and coming. They haven't been faced yet. You know what I'm talking about, Aries. There's still work to be done here, and there are still obstacles to overcome, and you're tired and it's exhausting, but you're almost at the finish line, so to persevere. And I feel like your decision is linked in with this, because you're like, I can't fully make my decision until I get something over the line, and then I can kind of switch gears a little bit. 10 of Cups. Total, like, we have reached the pinnacle of happiness at this point. It's actually turned into too much of a good thing for some of us, and you're ready to stick, you're like to get your hands dirty again and fight for something, or persevere even more. But all this work and hard effort is going to pay off. 10 of Cups. So that's really great. Let's look at these cards together, Aries, and I'm going to pull an oracle and get into some astrology for you now. Aries, before pulling an oracle card to see where you are at your journey, I want to briefly speak to you about the astrology that's coming up. I read astrology from the rising sign position. So this is going to be applicable to Aries sun, but more applicable to Aries rising, more specific to your circumstances. If you know your rising sign Aries, head over and check out the video for that when it comes out. This is the first one I'm doing, because that way your astrology is going to be more applicable there. Biggest thing really that's happening is we had Saturn turn retrograde on the 23rd of May, okay? Saturn is the planet that rules over time and karma. When a planet stations retrograde, which we have many now happening, we have Mercury gone retrograde and Saturn simultaneous, basically at the end of May. And when a planet stations retrograde, a retrograde amplifies the signatures of that planet and what it means. So for karma and time is going to be amplified. Aries, Aries rising, this is happening in your 11th house of community, goals, aspirations, wishes, really kind of things that are bigger than you and what you aspire, but on a more mundane level, friendship groups, committees, teams and organizations and networks you're a part of. What I will tell you now is Aries, Aries rising, Saturn will be retrograde for 5 months, and during that time you're going to really be asked, like, what is it? Like, what are your true innermost wishes? You're going to want to use that time, Saturn time, so wisely. And after the retrograde, you will become aware in October that superficial things do not satisfy you anymore. The superfluous, you will only want to do and engage in things that truly satisfy your soul. Aries rising, but in particular Aries rising, that's where that is hitting in your chart. We've had a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on May 26th. This card is Moon in Sagittarius. That's where that full moon lunar eclipse happened on the 26th of May. This was very important, and it's continuing on a cycle that had begun for us all collectively in June 2020. Aries rising and Aries, think back to June 2020. What was changing then? What was the dramatic shifts in perspective and change? Eclipses fuel destiny and change in astrology. If we're not on the right path that our soul is meant to be on, our destined path at this time, an eclipse will come in and kind of generate more energy and chaos and change so that you can be propelled closer to your destiny if you're not on the right path. So Aries rising, this was happening all in the access of your beliefs and knowledge and communication. From June 2020, Aries rising, there was a breakthrough in your mind. The four familiar walls of your mind, it just wasn't, you weren't seeing things like that anymore. You were seeing more, you were expanding. So that's what's just happened on May 26th. You'll see a continuation of those themes from last June, this basically May, June again. And it's about expansion, knowledge, breakthroughs in your beliefs. Okay, all right, let's leave it at that, Aries and Aries rising for the astrology. Let's pull an oracle card here now and see what's coming through as a message. We're going to ground this reading again before clearing up all of these rows of cards with further tarot. But now I just want to take this as a message from Aries, most highest and compassionate self, to them. What has our oracle got to say, Aries? I have got 10 Sisters of Light here. This is the Old Soul card, I believe. Let me pull up some information from my oracle about this. 33, number 33, maybe that number means something to you, maybe the number 6 means something to you. It says, yeah, you are an advanced soul and have lived through many incarnations. Shone your light through many different faces. Your soul has learned many skills in past lives, developed abilities and talents. This lifetime is a culminating lifetime in the sense that your soul has drawing together potencies developed over many lifetimes into unified expression. It is like the drawing on the power of 10 sisters or more into your current lifetime. Be prepared to grow and shine now. Okay, so this is you just have to be trusting of this journey, basically, right? And I think kudos to any of our souls to have chosen to incarnate during this period of the, you know, of humanity and what we're experiencing on a collective. I believe that this is a time for awakened souls and to really know what's going on in the world, to understand, and kudos for us to be here at this time because it's not always easy. Great, so you have wisdom gained from other lifetimes that you're basically applying now, so you may really feel that. Okay, Aries, let's keep going and let's get some cards out. Let's clear up Nine of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Death card. May I just say, Aries rising in particular, and all of the Aries watching, we have a Mercury retrograde beginning at the end of May, which will see us through all of June, pretty much until almost the end of June. Watch out, Aries rising in particular, about having arguments with neighbours, community, and siblings. Okay, Aries rising, it's happening in your third house of those topics, so that could be activated. But all in all, you know the usual, Mercury retrograde, we watch out for miscommunications. Let's see, some of you won't let go of an issue with the sibling. You're holding on to an issue with the sibling or a neighbor or someone in the friendship group or online even. Third house rules online, social media, communications like that. So you're holding on to a resentment there. Okay, so now we've got the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords, to clarify this. Right, and the Three of Swords. There is a major need for new breakthrough in perspective and communication and a mental breakthrough. So now we have our first appearance of our swords cards in this reading, and they're all here. Page of Swords, Three of Swords, Six of Swords. So all that needs to be happening here to let go of whatever is a mental breakthrough. You've been holding on to something. Some of you are like, I need to do everything on my own. I'm not really willing to share my success, or like you feel really proud of something you've done and you're just not really ready to move on with it yet. You still want to bask in the glory of it for some. Six of Swords though is an indication that we do need to transition into something that's more soothing. And you know, I just realized as well here that my Three of Swords is in reverse. So my Three of Swords is in reverse, which means that it's okay to let go of past pain and hurt now. I really sense that there is something being held on to very tightly, an argument or a resentment or something, and I think it's with a neighbor or a sibling, but it might be something else, but I'm really sensing that for now, and I feel like you need to move on and let it go. Like the worst is over. The rain, upright, we can see the rain lashing down on us, grey clouds above us, but the sun is actually at the top here now, and the light is emerging. These problems and these grayer and more tough constricting periods are at least they're at least not penetrating us or on top of us anymore. They're still there and they're still lingering, and some of us have pushed them into our subconscious, or we've repressed them. But there is a need with the Six of Swords to gain some peace of mind, to gain peace. You're getting away from triggers, and you really need to continue to get yourself away from the people or the things that trigger you, Aries, because that's all the Six of Swords is really saying. Like, you know, there is a calmer way of being, and we don't always need to be, you know, gung-ho. We don't always need to be super invested in everything and all of our and everybody else's dramas or the dramas in the world. Sometimes we need to take a respite for our mental health, okay? But there's a real need. Death card is still our only major arcana in this reading, Death card reversed. Let something go, Aries, something from the past, and transition. Some of you have come to terms and this is past energy, so Three of Swords, I like to see it reversed, that you actually have start processing and moving on from the more painful elements of that. And Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck is just like, we need new perspective now, we need new ideas now, we need to ask questions and share new ideas rather than lingering with the old and holding on to everything in the old. Okay, so let's see, we'll clear up this row now. Three of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and beautiful Aries energies, the Queen of Wands. What is that talking to us about? So what I have for you now, Aries, is I've got the Four of Wands, Venus in Aries. Maybe some of you also have that placement. And I've got another cup card here, and forgive me, I have to count these still, which isn't the most professional, but I have 9. I should learn my Roman numerals again. 9 of Cups. This is the first time I'm using this deck properly, and I love it, by the way. Friends of mine got it for me and I'm obsessed with it. But okay, so you might have the Venus in Aries. You realize that striking this balance that needs to be struck basically between this, I'm ultra independent, I do everything on my own, I have my own goals, my hustle, my ambitions, and that's what's most important for me. You've realized that there is a fine and delicate balance to be struck between working well as a team and following your own goals and all of that. The teamwork and effort, I believe, is something to do with a company that's a really well-known company, or it's a very stable company, or the teamwork and effort has to be reconciled around the home and living situation. This could be coming up for those that had a quarrel or had bad blood with a neighbor or sibling or someone in the community. I see that there is in June at least the offer for reconciliation and coming together again, and olive branch extended and working things out. And think of the Four of Wands as something that's really stable again. Obviously 3 legs of a table, 3 wouldn't be so stable, but 4 for sure is. So we can work towards that. For some, it's going to be the reconciliation of the situation in the past that was very triggering, and now you have somewhere more stable to call your home. Now you have somewhere more stable to call your place of work, and that's all been really productive for you. And the Four of Wands almost feels like a celebration for you, and some of you are celebrating your achievements in the past. There was a big achievement in the past where you got recognized finally and rewarded for your hard work, effort, or what you bring to the world basically, and your unique talents. And you have now, maybe some of you are celebrating that Four of Wands, some of you are celebrating it with family and friends. Ultimately, Nine of Cups and the Queen of Wands. I already knew that the Queen of Wands was you being empowered this month and feeling fabulous, and everyone gravitating towards you. But the Nine of Cups is, like I said, the 10 of Cups is almost overkill and how happy we are and everything's almost too good to be true. It's brilliant, but like, you know that this bubble has to burst eventually. What comes up must come down, right? And same goes, what goes down must come up, right? But Nine of Cups is where we were really enjoying June, because it hasn't come to that too good to be true bubble bursting moment yet. You're feeling great in June. You're feeling very emotionally satisfied and emotionally content. Now, some of you might say, oh, there's just one more thing I want. There's one more thing that would make it all perfect for me. Things are going really good for me, but there's one element missing. And then we seem to get it in the by the end of June going to July. We have that one extra piece, and then you're thinking, geez, now this is too much to handle, but maybe we should clear that up. Overall, the month of June is going to be really, really beautiful energy for you, Aries. I love to see it. I really do love to see it. Okay. You also are expanding in your 12th house. Aries rising, Jupiter has moved into your 12th house, the planet of expansion. But 12th house is a very private, and it's the house of self-limiting beliefs. It's the house of self-undoing. So you're kind of realizing where you are your own worst enemy in life, Aries rising. And that can be really productive and helpful if we can mitigate it and evolve through it and say like, oh, hang on a second, I'm self-sabotaging when I do this. I need to stop that. That could be useful. Be careful though, Jupiter also expands what it touches. So the 12th house is the house of mental health issues. And we just don't want our mental health, our anxieties or stresses multiplying. So kind of try and be mindful that you may need to get a hold on some of that. But overall, I see the month of June being excellent and really productive, really harmonious, celebrations in store in June, getting together with friends, making amends with friends, making amends with people, and just really feeling divinely inspired. And Queen of Wands is just the best energy. Okay, so we want to look at this row: 2 of Wands, 9 of Wands, and 10 of Cups. Okay, so we've got the 5 of Pentacles now, and we've got the 5 of Swords now. Yeah, I had a feeling that bubble would burst. It's not gonna be anything too painful, but we definitely feel the come down of our high in June starting to happen by the first week of July. Now, let's see, what can we say about that? There seems to be some worries that may come up around finances or where you're fitting in. If you have been soaking up all the rays of the, rays of recognition, rays of praise, if you've been soaking up just the rays of self-worth and everything like that, you're feeling really good, then a decision has to be made that's going to leave you, I feel like will leave you feeling a little bit panicked, feeling a little bit insecure, or maybe worried about where your resources are coming from, because we're very fully resourced and we're locked and loaded in terms of our resources and what we have, money in the bank and all that. But by the end of the month, there seems to be some material worries, and there seems to be some worries about you falling for the same old bullshit with somebody or falling for past mistakes. Cancer season will be then, okay? And we have the Chariot, which rules Cancer. We're moving out of Gemini season. The sun will move into Cancer by this point, by the end of June, going into July. And you know what? Cancer season can be a real time for, if there's anything that's not satisfying us emotionally, well, Cancer season's waves will almost make us seasick with that, and we'll be rocked back and forward. Eclipse season will be over at that point, which is in a way good, because all the changes that were made will at least be kind of finding our feet again. But it looks like you're going to vibe with the changes of June very well and what eclipse season has to bring for you. After it, there seems to be just some worry, okay, because you're thinking this is too good to be true, and I'm afraid that I'm going to self-sabotage and self-destruct. Self-sabotage, yes, the Five of Swords. That's what can happen in our 12th house for Aries rising when Jupiter is there. We can self-sabotage because we kind of are thinking, oh my God, like things are too good to be true. This is Jupiter in Pisces, represented here by the Nine of Cups. So like, let's just see how we're expanding, and think about your mental health a lot this summer, and like think about what your triggers are, thinking about what kind of seems to exasperate or exaggerate things in your mind, and try and get a hold on those things. I think would be the most mitigating, because the fives can be constricting. Aries, that is going to be your reading for June. I hope you took something from that. I really hope you have a great June. It looks good on the cards. We will check in again, of course, for July, because it seems like you are just going to maybe need to be mindful of your money worries, and kind of mindful if you feel like there's been something you've been dealing with in the past, Aries, that sounds like rejection or fear of abandonment or fear of rejection, that might be coming up in a way again by the end of July. Okay, see you soon, Aries. Thank you for watching and sticking out with me.